Okay. I think everything should be live at this point. I'm live, except this one. No, it's always the iPad, man. The iPad is always the thing give me the most problems when I'm trying to go live. I might stop going live iPad for real. All right, so I think we're good. Um, Everybody should be able to see me. And let me pull the outline back up. It's always the iPad. Everything should be good now. All right, cool. What's good, everybody? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Welcome to the Unconquered World podcast, where positivity is the premise, love is the source, and the outcome is peace. Hopefully, peace, whatever that means to you. Today, we're talking about facts and truth. Struggle with. Some people struggle with, this more than others, and it's possible that we, as people, we all need to figure out how to deal with the truth or the facts of the matter. So understand that when you neglect it, it hurts. We neglect when the truth hurts, and we overcompensate when the truth starts to feel good or whatever. And there are three problems that come from that. If you neglect it, it's still there, and you may have to deal with it at an inopportune time. If you overcompensate, it can oftentimes expose where you're weak, and sometimes you might not want people to know, those weak points that you may have in your life. And third, and the most important thing it does to you is the most it takes away your ability to be accountable. Um, and I think about it, and it's like we we kill or put down or crucify pretty much anybody that tells the truth in society. Nowadays and back then. I mean, you could take it all the way back to Jesus. They killed him. He told the truth. He took people that were seen as lowly, the low lives or whatever of the world, and showed them that if you accept the truth and you are accountable for your actions, you can do good and you can, progress and move from a situation that you might have been in um, that wasn't as good as it needed to be. And now you're in a situation that's a lot better because you accepted the truth. You took accountability for whatever actions or how you played a part in whatever's going on right now. And then from there, you've gotten better. So, I think we all need a little dose of how to deal with the truth, and everybody has to do it in their own way. So about positivity, let's get into the premise. Um, the good thing about the truth, the positive thing about the truth, is most times it doesn't change, meaning that you can do something about it. It's hard to get a grasp on something that's always moving. So like think about if something's always moving, like think about a little dog. So if you're trying to pet a dog and every time you get close to it, it's moving around, it's hard to get a grasp on it. Most time the truth isn't like that. The truth is like the dog that'll sit there and let you pet it, and stare at you in the face until you pet it and roll over like, hey, I'm here until you deal with me. So a lot of times that's how the truth is. So it's easy to get a grasp on and really try to, take it in. Another good thing about the truth, there's I see it as one truth, one true truth, the overall, facts of the matter. And then there's like a sub branch of the truth, which is your perception, meaning that your perception is reality. So let's first talk about the factual truth or the God truth, as one of my mentors told me. This is the truth that is true regardless of how you feel. I call it kind of like the mathematical truth. So if 2 plus 2 is 4, then that is exactly what it is. Regardless if you hate the number 4 or love the number 4, that equation equals 4. So, like I said, the truth is sometimes hard to deal with, and then sometimes it's the best thing ever. ever. But regardless of how you feel about it, it's exactly what it is. Now, the sub branch of the truth, which is the perceptional truth, I like to call that the if you believe it, you can achieve it truth. It's the truth that comes from how you perceive the factual truth, the God truth. So, and take note, I didn't say how you feel about the facts or the truth. I'm saying about how you perceive it. So let's say I'm 6'7" and I look at the facts, and based on the my height that I was blessed with and my long arms or something, that I think I can be good at basketball or I want to be good at basketball. The game of basketball is still the same. You get the ball, you dribble, you shoot, play defense, whatever. And my height didn't change. The only thing that would have changed in that situation is my perception of myself and those facts around me and saying, okay, I believe I could be good at this. Now you put action behind realizing whatever situation you're in or the truth. And now you get into a situation where you've taken accountability for what's around you or play with the cards that you're dealt, so to speak. So that's how the perceptional truth goes in with the factual truth, in my opinion. So here's the dilemma. Most times, or more times than not, we weigh our perception more than the facts, and it causes us to be closed off in the way we think and hinders our ability to deal with what actually is. Because you have to understand that the perception you have isn't concrete or organic in nature. It's often altered by the circumstances of whatever situation you're faced with. And what do those circumstances always bring you back to? You guessed it. It brings you right back to the facts or the God truth. Because in order to deal with the truth, you have to be able to deal with both the facts and understand how you perceive what's going on around you or those facts. Now let's talk about love. I think when it comes to love, that no one thing there's not one thing that you can point to that pertains to dealing with the truth, or you know, whether it be the truth about society, the truth about your career choices and happiness, or the truth about mistakes you have made or will make. I think that you have to love yourself essentially enough to become your own parent and not bash yourself with the truth. Bash yourself, you know, with the mistakes you made, truth. A lot of people with the truth or the facts of the matter, and they don't learn from, whatever those facts or that their truth is. Um, like people say they don't want to, whoop their kids, and to each his own. I'm not gonna spare my child a rod because the truth is like that rod. It's painful, but that also comes with teaching. You feel me? So you gotta teach if you're gonna beat yourself up with the truth. If you're gonna say, all right, you're gonna be because I'm a realist. People always say, you might seem like I'm being negative or something. No, I just keep it real. So when you keep it real like that, a lot of people can look at it because they have this optimistic or pretty perception about maybe a ugly truth, which is cool. Positivity is what I'm trying to drive, but I also want to be realistic in understanding the nature of or the gravity of whatever situation. And that comes from my understanding of this or that in order for me to move forward and not have to come back and deal with something that is lingering. And you have to love yourself enough to be honest about that and with the people that you love. um Understand that the universe isn't going to bend over for you just because you feel something should be this way or that way. You have to deal with the cards that you're dealt. So essentially, like I was saying, 2 plus 2 is 4. If I don't really like the number 4, then I can do something to multiply that number into a number I like. Make it 8, make it 32. Whatever I want to do to manipulate my situation, I have to add something to that equation. I have to add something to my life. If I want to be better at, a job, I have to add knowledge or add experience or add a mentor. So you have to figure out how to take what's natural, whatever equation you got in life. I know I'm talking a lot of mathematics right now, and a lot of people probably hate math, but that's if you hate 2 plus 2, you need help. I'm gonna keep it real. So talking a lot of mathematics, but if you're in a situation where you hate whatever equation or situation is going on in your life, you can change that if you understand what it is and why it's not equal. So you start adding different variables to make it be what you want it to be, and you got to deal with whatever you're dealt, by God, because you didn't nobody asked to be born. You feel what I'm saying? So, just have to pray for discernment and start to trust yourself when it comes to those type of situations and you trying to change whatever's going on, and be truthful. So to end it and go to peace, I think the peace comes from knowing that you don't have to rehearse the truth. Um, and I'm speaking like the factual truth when I say that. Your perception can change, circumstances can change, but you know, whatever the actual truth is, if somebody painted a wall red, you can't go say it's green, it's red. So whatever that is, embracing, that, and understanding that that type of fact or truth is always going to be that unless you change it, I think gives you a lot of peace, because it starts to give you, I guess, a sense of empowerment, or put you in the driver's seat of whatever it is you're trying to do. And you have to understand, like I said, everything's a return on investment. If you saw that podcast or heard that podcast, also podcast on iTunes now, Unconquered World, or just type in Malik Mayweather, it should pop up on iTunes. So if you do and it doesn't, let me know. But it's all about accepting those things, and understanding that peace can come from the fact that that this is what it is, or this is what I've made it from this. And that type of peace is a different kind of peace. It's a peace that you don't worry about. It's not the I created peace for a moment. It's the it's the I think it's that top of the mountain type of feeling for whatever little, even if it's a little achievement. I think it's the top of that mountain feeling when you say, all right, I want to improve my score by 3 points on something, and I improved it by six. And it's like, yes, because you created that. You knew what you had to do. You took it for what it was. You weren't good enough at that point. You figured out how to become good enough, and you improved it. And it started with understanding that you gotta improve. You gotta embrace the truth, and it ain't always fun. And then sometimes the greatest thing in the world. So stand in truth, man. Stand in truth. Um, and if you don't like whatever the facts are, or the truth or the equation in your life, figure out how to add some variables to it that can make it equal. Now understand, when you start adding variables, things can get complicated on both sides. So you got to figure out, how complicated you want some things to be. Some things don't need to be that complicated. Some things need to just be, all right, x plus 7 equals 10, and x is 3. Some things don't need to be x divided by 2, whatever, because nobody likes that. Everybody hated algebra when you first got in. You were like, why they add letters to numbers? So keep it simple, stupid, that acronym, KISS. Um, and embrace that truth, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I only see one person on my Instagram live. I don't see nobody on the iPad. That's why I'm finna stop doing it on the iPad, and maybe figure out a way to post it on the Unconquered World page or something. I don't know. Get people to do something different. Because it gives me the most problems anyway. But as far as Facebook, I can't really see y'all right now. So I appreciate y'all if y'all looking. And I hope this helps somebody learn how to stand in their truth. Love y'all. I'm out.